everybody, welcome back. This is your Monday workout for your at-home workout today, where we're going to go through a little bit of preparation, hopefully to get you guys ready for Murph this year. It's going to feel a lot like Angie, but we're going to be adding a weighted vest option to it today. So we'll go through all of these body weight movements in here, and then if you're one of the lucky recipients of a rower, we're also going to be doing a cowl row. But don't worry if you don't, I'll show you a substitution that we can use for that as well. So for time, it's going to be 100 squats, 80 sit-ups, 60 push-ups, a 40-calorie row, or 60 sumo deadlift high pulls at 35 pounds for women or 45 pounds for men, and 20 burpees. Now, there is a time cap on this, so we do want you to push yourself, but also keep in mind that this needs to be done in 14 minutes or less. And then you've got a skill strength of working on some variations of dips for the very end of your workout today. Now, to warm all of these up and make sure you get the best out of that 14-minute workout that's going to feel a lot like Angie, you're going to do a minute each. Most of them are going to be some paleo chair variations where you're going to work through a narrow, regular, and sumo squat down in the bottom of a paleo chair, warming up the bottom of an air squat position. And then you're going to row if you have one of the rowers, or you're going to grab a PVC or PVC type object like a broomstick, and you're gonna do some sumo deadlift high pulls. So let's talk about what exactly those paleo chair movements look like. So we're gonna be a little bit more narrow in our paleo chair stance to start. So normally we use something to hold up against. If we were at the gym, we'd be using a rig, find a door frame or something like that. And I want your legs inside your hips as you guys do this. So try to get them as narrow as you can. Hold something to help you, and we're going to be down in the bottom of our paleo chair. So the objective is I want my chest nice and upright, and I want my heels down on the ground as best as possible. Narrow stance, then you're going to go to a regular stance. So think if I was going to do an air squat. So now I can move my legs shoulder width apart. And then I'm going to go sumo stance. So think if I was doing a sumo deadlift, my toes can be slightly pointed out. I'm going to grab hold of something, and I'm going to sit down at the bottom of that paleo chair, and I can flex back and forth and get my legs nice and stretched out for the workout today. Followed by 3 rounds where we're going to warm up 20 seconds of plank taps alternating which shoulder you're touching, and 20 seconds of a squat hold against the wall, and then an overhead like thoracic reach. Oh, and I forgot previously in the warm-up, after you're done with those paleo chair warm-ups, that's when you would do the row. So a minute of rowing, or if you don't have a rower, we're gonna do a minute of PVC sumo deadlift high pulls. So I'm gonna have my PVC, and I'm gonna bring my hands together so my thumbs touch in the middle. I'm gonna get my wide sumo stance, go down to my deadlift setup position, move my knees back and open my hips, pull quickly up to my chest, my elbows nice high and outside. Let that come back down to my waist, set up position again, and pull. So I'm gonna open my hips, shrug and pull, and I'm gonna do this for a minute. Really good simulation if we don't have a rower. So do that before you go into the plank shoulder taps and what I'm gonna go over with you next. So I'm holding a plank position, and I'm alternating, touching my shoulders through there, and then I'm doing a 20-second squat, hold, and reach. So I'm gonna find a nice wall. I'm gonna sit down like I'm doing paleo chair, but now use the wall as some resistance, and I'm gonna reach my palm up, twist and hold for 20 seconds, or I could do 10 and 10, or switch the next round that you come back, because we're gonna do that 3 times. On a 20-foot lane, you're then gonna go through and you're gonna do some high knees, butt kickers, and also some inchworms, and you're gonna do a Spider-Man lunge. So that's where we've got a really big lunge step, and we're stretching the inside of our thighs and getting a really good deep lunge stretch from there. Followed by the last portion of your warm-up today is gonna be your WOD buildup, where if you have a vest, The WOD today is programmed wearing a weighted vest. If you don't have one, you can try a backpack, or like I said, 14-minute time cap. Maybe you want to go without a vest for this one. But if you're thinking about it, wear it for the warm-up here, where you're going to do 2 rounds. First round, let's go without a vest, and then we're going to do with a vest, where you're going to go through and practice 5 push-ups, or I'm sorry, we started over here, where you're going to go through 5 squats, 5 sit-ups, 5 push-ups, 3 burpee kickouts, and then 3 burpees. If that feels pretty good, put on your weighted vest or put on your backpack and go through that a second time so you really get a feel for that. Again, kind of like Angie, but building up for Murph, which is programmed RX as wearing some body armor or a vest. So this is some good practice and minimizing that time down to 14 minutes. So excellent practice for today. When you guys are all set and ready to go then, we've got our WOD for time, but with our 14-minute time cap, we're wearing a vest if we think that is appropriate and we can get through this time cap in that amount of time wearing that vest. We're going to have our rower set and ready to go when we get to the 40 cal row, or we're going to have a barbell or a kettlebell or something to do 60 sumo deadlift high pulls with that object. So if I don't have a barbell, I can do the same thing with a kettlebell, where I've got my sumo stance and I'm touching the floor with this, and I'm gonna pop my hips, shrug my shoulders, and I'm gonna pull to my chest and then go in reverse. So I'm gonna relax my arms, touch the ground, and I could do my sumo deadlifts with a kettlebell, dumbbell, or if you have a barbell. Those are all great options. So afterwards, we've got some dip practice. Dips are great for building that stamina, building that endurance for muscle ups, also pull-ups. So what you'll see is your skill strength is going to take you through a few sets where you're going to work on these for like 10 to 20 seconds, a variation of some time here, where you're going to work on a support hold, bottom of your dip hold, negative dips, and also strict dips. Do the best that you can. If you need to toe touch at the bottom or shorten that time or shorten the sets, those are all options, but the more you practice, the more you're going to help to build that strength. So before you go into your dip practice in Sugar WOD, there is some wrist stretching that we would like you to do. So you're going to find a flat surface and you're going to put your hand or maybe up against a wall. You're going to put your top hand on top of that and you're going to gently pull up on your hand. You'll eventually flip it over, same thing, palm facing up. Gently pull up on that. So we're going to make sure our wrists are nice and stretched out for that, and do the same thing on the other side. You could do this in your kitchen if you've got 2 counters close to each other, or you can pull up 2 chairs or whatnot, just as long as you have 2 objects right next to each other that you can practice your support holds and your dips. So a support hold is just like that. We're going to be holding ourselves up for as long as we can. Look at your sets in Sugar WOD. So I want to make sure my shoulders are back and down. I'm maintaining a slight hollow position, and I'm not overarching and I'm not leaning forward too much. The next progression is we're going to do the bottom of a dip hold. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go all the way to the bottom of that object, and I'm going to hold here. So instead of the support, I am at the bottom of a dip and I'm just holding on here. So again, try to engage your shoulders back and have a nice neutral spine. Negative dips are more you working on a nice, slow and controlled movement. So I'm not going to rush and just fall to the bottom of a dip. I'm going to control my descent. So think like a 3 to 5 second descent to the bottom of that dip hold. And then I can bail out of the bottom, kind of step back, shake it out, or I could even push up from that. You don't have to, because that's your next one. The next one is strict dips. So without kipping, I'm going to lower myself down so my arms are at a 90 degree, or where my bicep, I can feel it touching my forearm, and I'm going to press out of it. So I don't have to do a slow descent. I'm going to go to the bottom of the dip, and I'm going to press out of it. So again, you can use your toe touch at the bottom. You can touch both feet. If you have resistance bands or something like that to help and make that easier, those would all be great ideas. All right, guys, have a good Monday workout.